Okay, this is unit 8, list and arrays. Okay, so let's see what's the difference between list and arrays. Okay, so yeah, so let's now go to the numerical part. uh, we have the so-called list and arrays. So say for example, if I have system of linear equations, how are we going to solve that without using katong basic sa algebra, like um, uh, elimination method, substitution method, and so on. Using Python, simple ano, how to solve that system of linear equation using arrays. Do na po'y diferensya, do na advantage if you use list, and do na po'y disadvantage niya. Nasa limitation kung mugamit kog list lang o kung mugamit kog arrays, no? So actually, if I do linear algebra, dili list ako ang gamiton kundi arrays. Okay? So, na limitation. Although, nindot yapon ang list, but mas tsada ang arrays kung sa physics kay arrays ang kasagara ginagamit. Okay? Sa list kay, yeah, magamit yapon na sa list. Anyways, so list is the basic type of container in Python. It is a list of quantities and one after another. So, it is in the quantities of this list will be a number of some kinds, like you can do list of integers, list of floats, you can also do list of strings. Okay, so pwede ka magamit og pwede ka mag-create og list nga ang type niya is a string. Okay, say for example this one. So we have a list, of R. So na ko'y R, ang sunod sa R is we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. I have 8 elements. Okay, so these kaning mga numbers are called elements. Okay, ang sulod sa list are called elements. Okay, so unsa man pagsulat ng ang list, dali lang, no? Just use this bracket. Okay, you have to use this bracket in order for you to know that inside this bracket ang sulod is an element of a list. Okay, an element of a list. Pwede siya ma-float, pwede po siya ma-integer lang, pwede po siya, float is, masulat mo siya sa ano, no? 1.0, 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and so on. Pwede po ka mag-integer like 1, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Pwede po ka mag-string, like you can have R as um, A, banana, and so on. So these are list of strings. Okay, you can also use arithmetic operations inside this list. So kada element niya is an arithmetic operations, like 2 times x. You have to declare x first. Okay, x plus y, z over square root of x square plus y square. Okay, so you can do that. In this case, as you can see from this list, this is actually a position. Okay, kani siya is actually a position vector nga naa siya x-axis, naa siya uh, component of x, component of y, and component of z. Okay? Um, yeah, so these are list. This one is an example of list. Also, this one is also an example of list. So you can do mo po na kanindot sa list, no, kay bisag unsa nga type iyang iyang pwede ibutang sa imong element. Unlike arrays, ang arrays is wala ko'y string, wala ko'y string arrays. Okay? But puro siya integer, number lang siya, no? Integer, float, and so on. Okay? So isa sa diferensya sa list and arrays is kana. Okay? So if you do, say for example, kung ako na i-type, if I type this one, we have this is a list. Okay? Say my R is equal to, take note ha, bracket akong gamit, no? One, I have, say for example, 5 elements. Okay, so see R has 5 elements. If I print R, then R is a list of numbers from 1 to 5. So I have 5 elements. So if you take the len of R, if you want to print the len of R, pila ang length, okay? If you want to print the len of R, oops, len of R. As you can see, there are 5. If paano mo ang len of R, meaning ang pila ka elements ang nasa imong list, then the answer is 5. Okay, there are 5 elements inside this list. You can also write also say x is equal to say position is equal to ito kung ano no, the x component, say my x component is 3, my y component is 4, and then my z component is 3 plus 4 for example. Okay? So pwede ka mo gamit or pwede ka mo magsulat og list nga dunay arithmetic operation sa sulod. Okay, so I have, if I print position, then you have 3, 4, and 7. So, pwede siya arithmetic operations. If mo gamit kag square root, take note, you have to import square root nga function para magamit nimong SQRT nga function, no? So, as you can see here, kung mogamit kog square root, okay, kung mogamit kog square root, no? Dapat nakabutang, dapat i-define ni mo daan or kuhaon ni mo daan ang function nga square root from this one. So, we have, ang square root is nasa sa math nga function. Okay? So, the syntax is we have from math, import square root. Or you can do import math. Okay, pwede ka mo ka mag-import math. Nanan diha tanan ang atong gamit last time mo is import math. Okay? Import nimo ang math. Nanan diha tanan. Math kay na ako'y square root dira, na ako'y log dira, or you can use this one. To be specific, na ako'y from math import square root, from math import log, from math import sine, from math import cosine, and so on. Pwede ka mo gamit ani, no? Or you can use import math. Naka-package na tanan. Itong sine function, cosine function, and so on. Okay? So, as you can see from this code, I have a list which has 3 elements, na 1.0, 1.5, and minus 2.2. And then if you want to get the length of this, I think this r here is a position vector, and you want to calculate the magnitude of this r. Okay? Balik ka sa inyong ang vector analysis. Sa inyong vector analysis is na ako'y position r, which has an x component plus y component plus z component. Okay? And if you want to calculate the magnitude of r, this is just equal to square root of x squared plus y squared plus z squared. Okay, so muna ang netabo dari, no? Kaning length. This is just the magnitude of my r, which is na ko SQRT of r0 squared. Take note kaning double asterisk, it means that you want to square the r0. Okay, so kaning a function r squared. This is actually the x squared, right? You can write this in Python as r 0 asterisk double asterisk tapos 2. Okay? If you want r cubed, then double asterisk 3. Okay? And this r0, it means that what do you mean by r0? It means that ang imo ang gikuha nga element is the first element. Okay? Mag-start gyapon ko sa 0 nga index. Okay? Same sa katong atong hibalaan last time, no? Nga if I have a string, ang pinakauna nga character is ang index niya is equal to 0. So same with this one, ang list, ang first index niya, ang 0 nga index I equal 0, is ga-represent siya sa atong pinakauna ni mga element. Okay? So if I have r is equal to 1, 1, 2, 3, so on, if you want to print r2, ang yang i-print is only the kaninga number. Okay? Because mag-start ko sa 0, ha? Take note. Mag-start ko sa 0. This one is 0, this one is 1, and then this one is 2. Okay? So, mag-start ang always akong index from 0. Okay? So, in this case, R0 is my x component, which is equal to 1. R1, kaning R1 is my y component, which is 1.5. And then R bracket 2 is my z component, which is my minus 2.2. Okay? So, let's try this one. Say, for example, you want to calculate the Pythagorean theorem, for example. Okay, so if we have a triangle, no, not position lang yapon, no. If I have a position, so itong position ako, we have 3, 4, 7, and if I want to get the magnitude of this position, I have to say mag of my position is equal to sa ito square root sa magkuhan sa ko import sa kog math, no, import math, or you can use from math import square root, okay, or you can use import math lang, pwede lang ako na sa import math, and then we have magnitude of my position which is equal to square root of tulo ka buok, no, na ko'y tulo ka terms, the x square plus y square plus z square, okay. X square is equal to 3. In this case, my position is 3, 4, 7. So I have task kayo, no, position 0, okay, asterisk double asterisk square plus position 1 double asterisk square plus position 2 double asterisk square. Okay? So, the mag pos is defined as the magnitude of my position, which is equal to the square root of kaning position 0, that's the first element sa imong list nga gitawag ni mga position. Asterisk, double asterisk 2, it means that i-square nimo na siyang element, plus position 1, that's the second element, and then double asterisk square, double asterisk 2, and then position 2, which is your third element, which is the 7, and double asterisk square. So if you, oops, okay, so from math gili ko, from math import square root. Pwede lagi ako import math cosine. Sige lang, ano lang, import square root. Okay. From math import square root. Okay, okay, so if I print mag cos, oops, then ang iyang hatag is katong square root of these numbers. Okay, so we have square root of 3 square plus 4 square plus 7 square, that's 9 plus 16, 25 plus 49, that's 74. Square root of 74 is 8.6. Okay, so that's the length or the magnitude of your position vector. Okay, so yeah, so magamit na ko take note ang list of arrays, okay, later. Say for example, kung mag-plot na ta og functions like quadratic function, we can use list. Okay, we can use list as we can use list to plot functions, okay, later. Okay, take note sa yung pagbuhat og list, no, dali lang, no, you use brackets, and then depende kung pila ka book elements, pila ka book points ang imuhang naa sa imuhang list. Okay, so that's a list. Pwede po ka, ang nakanindot sa list is pwede po nimo i-change ang value sa iyang individual elements. Say for example, you have a position vector. Na ako'y position vector 1.0, 1.5, and 2 minus 2.2. If you want to change 1.5 to 3.5, okay? Kay kaning R1, take note R bracket 1 is your second element, sakto? Which is this one, no? This is your R1, right? This is your R1, this is your R0, and then this is your R2, okay? If you want to change 1.5, dali lang, no? I-declare lang nimo that R1 is equal to 3.5. Ang iyang buhat nun is i-update niya ang imong list nga R, okay? So, i-change niya ang 1.5 to 3.5. So, that's the ang advantage sa list po is pwede nimo i-change ang individual elements to any other values like this one from 1.5 to 3.5. Okay? Say for example, no, nakoy position ups position ako is 3, 4, 7. I want to change the third element, okay? The third element into this. So position, my third element is 2, no? Index na is 2. Say I want to change 7 to 8. Okay? I want to change 7 to 8. So if I print position now, it will update into this. Instead of 347, ma-change sa into 348. Okay? So, pwede na ako i-change ang values sa kada element sa imong list. Okay? Just by using this function here. Okay? So, that you can change the individual elements. You can also, we can also sum all of the elements inside this list. Okay? So, isa sa powerful na tool of a list, kaning list nga kuan is pwede nimo isum tanang elements nga nasa sulod sa imong R. Okay? Just by using this code or function nga sum. Okay? Built-in function nga sum. So, if you want to sum 348, so for example, akong position is 348, no? Nakoy 348. If you want to solve sum equals sum of my position. Okay? Oops. Di lang sum ang gamit. X na lang. X. Sum is a built-in function. If you want to sum all of the elements inside this position list nga gitawag nga position, then you can do the summation of it. Okay? So na ako'y x is equal to 15. I-add lang niya tanan. If you want to get the average, dali lang, no? Average is just equal to sum of the position divided by the length of the position. Sakto? Kaya ang length niya is pila ka book element ang naa. So if I have 3, then kuha na nako ang length sa position which is 3, then you can solve for the average, right? So the average is equal to 5.0, no? So if I have list, say for example, daghan kay nga list, no? A is equal to 1, 23, 24, ani? Oops. Oops. 56, 77, 89. For example, I have A, and then if you want to get the average of A, then dali lang, no? You have to sum the A over the length of this A. Para makuha mo, basta. Oops. Dili sum A, sorry. This is sum A. Okay, sum of A over the length of A, you will get the average of this A, which is 25.37. Okay? So, duha lang kalinya, no? To calculate the average of these elements inside this list. Okay? So, isa sa gamit sa list is this one. To get the sum and to get the average. Okay? The average meaning i-divide lang nimo sa total number of elements. You can also use logarithm by just importing from math. You have to import log, a function. If you want to get the log, we call this one as log plot. Okay, magamit actually nato ni kaning log plot sa, say, if you do numerical simulations like nakay function nga ito ko r, the end-to-end distance is equal to n as a function of nu. Okay, if you have a function that looks like this, okay, if you have a function that looks like this, in order to solve for nu, in order to solve for the exponent nu, you have to use this log plot. If you take log of r, this is equal to v log of n. Okay? So if you plot log of r versus log of n, the slope will be this nu. So once makuha na ko ang slope, then that slope will be the value of your unknown nu. Okay? So muna akong gibuhat sa akong masteral, no? I have values of r's. Okay, tapos values of r's, we call this one as end-to-end distance. I also have the number of monomers n. What I want is this nu. What I want is this nu. So what I did is I use log plot. I take the logarithm of r. I also take the logarithm of n, and then I plot it. Pag plot na ko, ang slope ato will be the value of my nu. Okay, so nakuha na ako ang nu dayon. Okay, so nakuha na ako ang nu. Ano ba ko example ani? Nakuha. Yeah. So the title of my thesis, masteral thesis, is this simulation of the Flurry index and the distribution, the probability distribution function. the probability distribution of the end-to-end of this polymer. So what I did is ako'y laglag plot diri no. Laglag diri. So this one. So nakoy ingani nga function. Nakoy r is equal to n nu. So what I did is to get the laglag plot of that in order to solve for nu. But dili pa katong napatoy lahi sa kaning di Brownell polymer. Hmm, ako itong equation na akong gamit. Kaning oops. So what I did is I simulate using Monte Carlo simulation. I simulate the end-to-end distance of one linear polymer, and then I get the R, and then I also have a constant n number of monomers n. Kanisa. The two it the equation 3.54. So I know the n, fix akong n, then I will get value of r's, okay, value of end-to-end distance. So what I did in order to solve for the new h kaning exponent, I used the log-log plot. Okay, the log-log plot to solve for the new h. Then ako na po nga this is katong sa simulation nga part, updating. In this case, magamit na ko katong katong i-parse nimo no, katong nakoy parsing nga part. Okay, magamit nimo to. Nara. I use ln, but this ln is just log plot ni sa no. Natural logarithm of this is equal to natural logarithm of the n, and then once makuha na ko ang graph, the new h will be my slope. Okay, the new h represent the slope of a line. Okay, so these are the code. Kung ang code na akong gamit, ano ba ang result? Then ang result kinay this one. Yeah, I plotted ln, the logarithm of n and the logarithm of r, and then it is a linear. It has a linear relationship between them, and then the slope of this line will be the Fleury index, the nu, which is the simulated index that we got. It's equal to that one. Okay, so ingana magamit na to ang kuan actually no, magamit na to ang um log plot. Okay, so isa sa pinakagamit ng equation is log plot. Anyways, later. Magamit mo nato na sa later. So kung na ako'y function nga uh, say x is equal to say y is equal to n to the x, then in order to solve for x, you just take the log of this one equal to x log of n, and then plot this one, plot this two, the slope will be your value of x. Okay, you also have this good function sa list. You can append, okay, you can add elements inside that list, okay, by just using this method kaning append. Okay, so if gusto ka nga mag-add og isa ka element, okay, si 6.1 sa imong position r, then you can do this, just use that append. Okay, say for example, we have, say for example, na position, no, position is 348, and then I want to add another element sa akong position. Dali lang, no, you want to position append, mag-add ka og element nga 9, okay, then if you print position, na upat na siya ka element, na 3, 4, 8, and 9. So ingana no, pag dungag og mga list og mga elements sa imong list, you will use append. Okay, so mag-append na po another element, say 15. Then the new position now, the new list of position is na ko 5 ka elements, 3, 4, 8, 9, and 15. Okay, so to add elements, just use append. To remove elements, just use to remove a value from the end of a list. From the end, no? From the end. Mag-start siya sa pinaka-last. I-remove niya ang pinaka-last. You will use r.pop. Okay? R.pop. Dot pop lang, no? Dot pop. So, If you want to remove 15 in the position, dali lang, no? Position dot pop. Kana, kung walay sulod imong argument, then, yeah, kung walay sulod imong element, ang mahitabo, kaya ang iyang kuhaon nga element sa katong pinaka-last. So, if you want to print position, then mawala tong 15 nga, katong pinaka-last nga element. Okay? So, nakoy r dot pop, so on. Okay? And I think, pwede po ko check na ko, pwede ba ko r pop, say 2, okay? Meaning, ani, is, ang ika, when I is equal to 2, kaning, as you can see, 3 is 0, index na is 0, 4 is 1, and then 2 is 8. So when I say position dot pop 2, it means na ang iyahang i-delete, ang iyang i-remove sa imong, ang iyang i-remove nga element sa imong list is katong uh, element nga ang index na is equal to 2. Okay? In this case, ang index nga 2 is equal to 8. Take note, mag-start ka sa 0, not 1. Okay? So, nakoy 0, 1, 2. So, your 2 is 8. Okay? So, when you print the position, then 3, 4, 9 na lang ang mabilin. Okay? So, kana lang, no? Append, kung mag-add ka, then pop kung mag-tungag, kung mag-remove ka og element sa imong list. Okay? So, I have that. So, isa po sa ko, no? Advantage sa list is kanino. You can add and you can remove elements inside the list. Now, let's go to arrays, okay? So, let's go to arrays. So, take note, a list in Python is an ordered set of values such as this integer or floats and so on. Doon na po tayo gitawag na arrays. But somewhat, na sila similarities, pero na advantage ang kung mogamit ng arrays. Like in physics, we deal with vectors, right? We deal with vectors. Ang vectors has nakoy n components, okay? Nakoy n components sa mga vectors. You can also use, if I have matrix, for example, matrix, kadumdum mo atong, if I have vector A cross vector B, dumdum mo no? Say my A is, say, 3i plus 4j plus 5k hat, and then my vector B is 5i hat plus 4j hat plus 6k hat, for example. And if you want to calculate A cross B, then you will use the determinants, the determinants of I hat, J hat, K hat, tama ba? 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 6, and then makuha nimo ang determinants ana, then you will get the A cross B. You can also calculate the dot product of A dot B by just multiplying 3, 5 plus 4, 4 plus 5 times 6, you will get the dot product. Okay. So, arrays, you can use arrays in order to solve these two. Okay. Ma-solve na ko ang A cross B. Ma-solve na ko ang A dot B using arrays. Okay. So usually sa physics, dili kahit ka nagagamit, although kung mag-plot tag functions, dali lang. Pwede ra ka mogamit og list. Okay. Mag-plot kog functions, pwede ko mogamit og list lang. But when you are dealing with vectors, then you will use arrays. Okay? You will use arrays because this one is a matrix. Kaya siya is a matrix. It has 9 elements. So na ko elements nga I hat, J hat, K hat, 3, 4, 5, and then 5, 4, 6. This is a matrix, and you cannot just use list in order to print this matrix. Okay, so you have to use arrays. Okay, you have to use arrays. And say for example, in your Kirchhoffs, kung kadumdum mo sa Kirchhoffs, no? Kirchhoffs. Nag-Kirchhoffs mo, no? Katong solving for I1, I2 currents, no? Katong I1, I2, I3, if you remember this in your electromagnetism. Doon ako'y three equations, three unknowns. Nakoy unknowns nga I1, I2, I3. And then, you solve that one, task kayang solution, no? You will use substitution method, elimination method in order to solve I1, I2, I3. But if you use arrays, masolve na ko ning systems nga akaning Kirchhoff's problem in just pila ka lines of code. Okay? pila ka lines of code. So di na ka mag-solve atong di na ka magamit atong ah, mga elimination method and substitution method. Just use arrays in Python. You have to code arrays in Python in order to solve this I1, I2, I2. So let's solve that one later. But muna naka-importante sa arrays to compare sa list, mas if you have a matrix, okay, if you have a matrix in linear algebra, I don't know if namoy linear algebra, you can solve matrix like solving for the inverse of the matrix, transpose of that matrix, and so on. Nala ba mo yung math theory? Hello? Nala,
Naa,
Not
sir.
sir.
nala mo yung math theory, no? So, niabot na mo sa kwan, um, ito, ARPCAN. Abot na mo sa chapter 4 ata to. Oops. ARPCAN. ARPCAN yung gamit ng libro, no? Sa math. Niabot na mo diri. Kani, chapter 4, determinants, matrices, and group theory. Okay? So, you're dealing with matrix here. As you can see, na po yung matrix nga ni. No? So, na po nga ang mga matrix. Kani, so on, makuha nimo inverse matrix, makuha nimo ang determinants of that matrix. Using Python, you can actually solve determinants of a matrix, of this matrix here. Okay, so pwede nato na siya magamit para ma-check na nato, oops, para ma-check nato kung sakto atong answer sa atong determinants and so on. So again, we are dealing with arrays, and then we can solve everything, not everything, but we can solve uh, determinants of a matrix, inverse of a matrix, transpose of that matrix, and so on. Okay, using some code in Python. Okay, so yeah, no. So na limitation ng list, array can be an n-dimensional matrix, n by n dimension matrix. So an array Dakoy is is an ordered set of values gihapon, but there are some important differences between list and arrays. Okay, so first is the number of elements in array is fixed. Okay, so um, unlike sa list, maka-append ka og elements sa list, no? Pwede ka mag-add, pwede po ka mag-remove og elements sulod sa imong list. But array is fixed imong element. Okay, if I have 3 by 3 matrix, so na ako'y element nga tulo, tulo ka element by tulo ka element sa row sa iyang column. Okay? You cannot add elements once it is created or remove them. First is second differences between list and arrays. Kaya na ako'y this one, elements of an array must all be of the same type. Okay? Such as if float ang isa, float na natanang elements. Okay? If integer ang isa, integer na po tanan elements. You cannot mix elements of different types in the same array, and you cannot change the type of the elements once an array is created. Unlike sa list, ang list kay pwede ko mag-string like r is equal to banana. Okay, na ko'y 1, pwede ko mag 2, pwede ko maglahi-lahi, lahi-lahi og type. This one is a string, this one is an integer, this one is a float. But for array, fix yan, no? If float ang isa ka element, float gina siya tanan. Okay? Hindi mo masagulan og isa kung sa nga type, lahi-lahi nga type. Okay? So that's an array. And naigingon diri no nga nganong mogamit mo og array nga mas tsada man day ang list, no? So uh, list have neither of these restrictions, and on the face of it, these seem like significant drawbacks of the array, no? Okay, di ka ka-add kaning duha ka book, no? Di ka ka-add tapos dapat parehas ang type of elements nga nasa sulod sa imong array. So nganong mogamit mo og array kung ang list kay masyada man ang list, no? Kay pwede ko maka-add, pwede ko maka-remove because of this one. Arrays. So ngano mo gamit mo og arrays? Because arrays can be two-dimensional. Unlike matrices in linear algebra, no? Can be two-dimensional, can be three-dimensional. Say vectors in 3 dimension, you can write that's an arrays. Okay? Unlike sa list is just a one-dimensional nga list, no? Say R is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mura ni akong list, no? List of numbers like that. You cannot use list as matrix like 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 0. Di ka makasulat og list nga two-dimensional. This is two-dimensional because na ako'y duha kay nga ni hapon ka duha ka rows, duha ka number of elements sa rows, and then duha ka element numbers of uh, sa column nimo. Na ako'y column by row by column nga matrix, no? So dili ka makasulat. So muna yung naka-maout sa list po, no? Isa lang ka dimension ang list, but for arrays pwede ko mag n dimension. 3 by 3 na ako'y 3 by 3 matrix, 1 1 1 0 0 like that. Okay? Say this matrix, two-dimensional matrix, 2 2 1 1 like that. And then vectors also. Mm, if you want to add if you want to multiply vectors, then you cannot use list. Okay, kung i-multiply nimo ang, for example, if I have 1 2 3 nga list, and then ako'y y nga 3 4 5, this is a list, for example. List ni siya, no? If you want to add r plus y, ang kung list ni siya, ang yang buhaton is idungan isumpay lang niya ang mga elements. Ingani lang niya, no? If this is an array, and if you have r plus y, then ang mahitabo is i-add niya ang 1 plus 3, 2 plus 4, and 3 plus 5. Okay? If this is an array, then you can add first element to the first element of y, then 2 plus 4, and then 3 plus 5. Okay? So, if list na siya, ang sakit ito, kung list siya, kay isumpay lang niya ang mga elements. But if it is an array, ang r plus y sa array is na ako'y 4, 6, and then 8. So, i-add niya ang kada element. Okay, i-add niya ang kada element. So, muna nakalindot po sa arrays, no? You can add, you can use dot product using arrays. Pwede ka mag dot product, pwede ka mag cross product if you have an array, not a list. Okay, not a list. So, muna, isa po sa pinaka-importante nga pan sa arrays ka na, no? If na ako'y, kani kung list lang, no? Kung list, tanano to ang list, ha? Position is na ako'y 3 4 9. If I declare another list, say 3 4 5, ano eh? Then if I want to add x is this. Okay, if I want to add position plus x, ang may tabo is isumpay lang niya tanan nga nasa position o nasa x. Okay? So na ako'y 3 4 9 3 4 5 6 7 8. Dili gyud niya i-add ang kada element sa imong list position plus list x. But unlike arrays, ang arrays kay pwede ka do operations. Okay? Operations sa kung arrays na siya, no? Dili list. Okay? So pwede ka kanin principle have yes. Yes.
Sir, numbers lang ang may sa array, sir.
Yeah, that's correct. If it's an
Like,
integer, yeah.
integer.
Yeah. Pwede po
Okay,
siya string type, pero wala kay mabuhat kung array siya nga string type, you cannot do matrix, you cannot do operations. Okay, you cannot do operations if string lang siya. Okay? So,
Kaya naay problem, sir, nga naay mga variables, sir. Like,
yeah.
example, mag 2A.
Okay. Yan, pwede siya actually. Kanang a dira is not a string but a variable, whether it's an integer or a float. So you can also do that. That's correct. Pero kung string lang jud siya, solely string lang, like butanin mo sa banana. Okay. Then two-dimension nga banana. Then pwede siya ma-array, but dili ka use og mga operations like mag-plus ka, mag-multiply ka o mga string type nga mga string type nga kuan. You cannot just use list na lang, not array. But kung variable siya,
Okay,
like
sir.
2x, and then i-declare nimo ang 2x, ang x sa taas as any number, then you can do that. That's correct. You can do arrays.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, that's take note, lists are always just one-dimensional. Okay? So muna ang limitation sa list, one-dimensional lang siya. Isa lang siya ka stritan of list of values there. But for arrays, pwede siyang daghan, no? Sa anak, and so on. Okay? Also, arrays behave roughly like vectors or matrices. So, that's why, kung physics ta, ang atong gamiton is not just list. Okay? Unlike kung isa lang ginaka-dimension, then you can do list lang. But when you say vectors, three-dimensional vectors, na kay matrix nga system of linear equations, then you can use arrays. You can do arithmetic with them such as adding together. So manang ingon kay na no, sa list kay kung mag-add ka, isumpay lang niya. Di siya mo add og mga numbers, okay? This is not true with list. If you try to do arithmetic with a list, you will either get an error message or you will not get the result you expect. So, nakikitawag nga semantic error na dayon, no? And the last one is arrays work faster than list. Okay, if you have n by n dimension, kung taas kay mohang um, kung daghan kay elements, okay, say 1,000 elements inside that list, then if you use arrays, mas fast siya kaysa sa list. Okay? If you have very large arrays with many elements, and calculation may be significantly faster using an array. Okay? So, mas gamit ang array. So, but before that, before na magamit ang arrays, we have to install first the package NumPy. Okay? We have to install first the package NumPy. NumPy means numerical Python. Okay? Num means numerical Python. So, para magamit na ko ning arrays, para makahimo kog arrays, okay, makahimo kog arrays, not a list, no? You have to install first the package NumPy. Dali lang, no? Ang pag-install og NumPy, dali lang. Dito mo sa inyong command prompt, cmd. Kini? Ato mo sa inyong command prompt. And then, first is you have to update first. Pwede rin hapon mo dili update. Pero masyado kung i-update mo daan ang imong PIP. PIP is uh, PIP is the preferred installer program. Okay? Kung dili siya upgraded, then posible nga dili siya mo install og NumPy. Okay? So first, para safe, you have to upgrade your PIP by just typing Python. Ano maklaro mo na Python -m, then PIP. PIP, take note, is called abbreviation for preferred installer program. Okay? PIP install, tapos you have to upgrade, double dash, then upgrade PIP. Okay? So if you do that, i-upgrade niya ang imong PIP. Okay? So sa ako is already satisfied naman kay upgraded na akong PIP. So kung dili siya upgraded kay napa sa ipag-download na ako. So once you you upgrade the PIP, you can now install the NumPy by just writing PIP install NumPy. Okay? So kinahanglan na to install ang NumPy nga package para makasulat ta og array sa atong Python. Okay? So again, install duha lang kabuk, no? First is upgrade your PIP, your preferred installer program. And then, after that, dito ka sa command prompt, no? After that, install the NumPy. In my case, naka-install naman ko NumPy. So, mayroon siya requirement already satisfied. Okay? So, NumPy is now in C. Nana siya daan sa ako ang computer. But in your case, kung wala pa may NumPy, napa na yung mga downloading pa na. Wala to ninyo nga mo appear ning kaning cursor C:user. Okay? Depende sa inyong command prompt na gamit. Okay? So, once kayo nga na, then you can now use arrays. Okay? So, you have now installed the NumPy nga package. Okay? Again, upgrade PIP first, and then install NumPy. Later, you have to install also later kay mo plot man tawag functions later. You have to install also PIP install kalimut ko sa matlab.plot. Basta plot nga package. Plotting nga package. You have to install that one. Later na lang na siya, no? NumPy lang sa inyong install sa inyong computer. Okay? NumPy para magamit na ko ang NumPy means numerical Python. Okay? Para magamit or para makasulat ko og array sa akong Python nga code. Okay? So now I now have NumPy. So what I will do is, you have to import numpy, no? Import numpy. Okay? So, pwede ka mag-import numpy, or pwede po ka, for example, I have um, this one from numpy import zeros. Meaning, sa import zeros is, mag-create ka og array nga ang element niya is puro zero. Okay? So, mag-create ka og array. By the way, sa list, napo ko'y gitawag nga empty list. Okay? Napo ko'y gitawag nga empty list, no? Sa ato sa unahan to, before this one. I have, say for example, Rowell equals, lang. So, I have a list, I have an empty list, na gitawag na ko nga Rowell. So, wala pa siya sulod. So, you can do, if nakoy empty list, pwede ka mag-add og mga elements like append, right? Pwede ka magdungag na koy Rowell append. So, if I print Rowell, then na siya sulod nga one nga element. Again, if I put another element like 5, then I print Rowell, then na siya duha ka element nga 1, 5. Okay? So, pwede ka mag-create first og empty nga list. Then later, magamit kag for loop para magbutang kag mga elements nga nasa imong list. Okay? Rowell.append. Pwede ba siya banana? Na to ha? Sorry. Napayana no? Banana. Okay, so if I print Rowell, so na siya banana nga string type. So, muna yung kanindot sa list, no? Lahi-lahi nga type, pwede siya. Pwede ang list kung bisag lahi-lahi nga type yung butang. But ang arrays, dili siya pwede, no? Dili siya pwede. Okay, so balik ta sa numpy. So, if you want to print zeros, array nga, ang element niya is all zeros, you have to write like this. From numpy, import zeros. Okay, import zeros. Okay? And then say your matrix A is equal to 0. So nag-import mo ang zeros nga function. Oops. 4 meaning I have 4 elements, and then if you want it as type float, then you can type float. Pwede po ka integer. If you print A, then A is an array that has element of 0. Upat ka 0. Kaya mo ko 4 dira, no? Kani 4. If you want 4 by 4 or 3 by 3 nga zeros. Dali lang. Kung nakoy 3 by 3 nga zeros, ay mong bahaton is magpa-type ka 3, 3. Meaning ani is, and if you want it as integer, okay? If you want it as integer, meaning sa 3-3, it means that you will create an array that has 3 values sa imong rows ug 3 pud ka values sa imong 3 values sa imong column ug 3 values sa imong rows. Okay? So if I want that, if I print A, then nakoy array nga 3 by 3 nga 3-dimensional nga array which has an element of 0 tanan. Okay? So yeah, this is an array. This is an example of array. Again, kaning 3 bracket 3, 3, maka-create ka og 3 by 3 dimension nga matrix. Okay? Can create 3 by 3 dimension nga matrix. Naggamit kag function nga zeros, meaning all elements are zeros here. Okay? So, yeah, this is an example of an array. Unlike sa list, no? Sa list, you can write this as that 3 n dimension 3 by 3 dimension nga array. Okay. I think that's it for today. Okay, alas 10 naman, no? We'll continue this one tomorrow. So, I think tomorrow hopefully do na tag arithmetic operations in an array. Okay? Ayan, makahimo na tag arithmetic operations. We can solve Kirchhoff's problem. We can solve system of linear equations using arrays tomorrow. Okay? Then you will have also again another activity for that. Do you have any questions? Wala na may questions? Sige. Yes, Rogin.
Sir?
Yes?